tiger. Yeah, I know. So that to me, that's how I look at it. And I see in DC's place, DC did the same thing. They were destroying their movie industry by hand. They saw something in Christian Christian. Why am I saying Chris Nolan, Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan's Batman. They saw something and they thought they could apply that in their DC universe. That's how we ended up getting the Snyderverse, right? Because my problem with the Snyderverse is that why are you turning the DC universe into the Watchmen universe? That's how it felt to me. That's why I like this new James Gunn's version. It feels more uplifting. It does have that Silver Age feel to it, but I think that's the beauty of the DC universe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where Marvel doesn't have that. Marvel has always been like an urban comic series because it's set in New York for the most part, and everything else is based on Marvel should be more based in reality, where DC should be more fantastical, more sensational.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah.
Good
I
conversation.
somewhat agree.
I think we've had some really nice conversations today. I think this has been a really fun show.
Yeah, well, and mostly because like it's nice when we agree on on disturbing behavior. We should always agree on that. We should always agree on disturbing behavior. We're like, nope, that's no bueno, not good for anyone.
So before we start talking about trending comics, because that's what this show is all about, I asked my good pal and friend and brother, brother from another mother. Let's see here. I asked him if he could share with me what comic books he is thankful for, because this Thursday's Thanksgiving, in case you guys didn't know, and I figured it would be nice to just do something where we could talk about 5 comic books we own in our collection that we currently have that we are very thankful for. All right. And you know what? If you guys are watching in the replay, or if you guys are watching live in the chat, please tell me what 5 comic books you're thankful for owning, right? Not what comic books you want to own, because we'll get to that one in a future episode. I already have that in mind, so be prepared, Cliff. We're gonna do a Christmas wish list pretty soon. These are 5 comic books that we are thankful for. So Cliff, you're gonna start it off. You're gonna give me your top 5. Now we're gonna start with the 3 that you picked. So you had 2 titles, right? But you had 2 titles. So you had 3 of one title and 2 of the other. So we're gonna start with the 3. Okay. So
is that in? Yeah, I guess.
All right.
I had them in chronological order.
Okay, so the one I got here, I got Adventure Comics, right? This is is it 267?
Yes, it is.
All right, let's get that one out. And he took out the comic books. I wasn't able to take out the comic books. All right, tell me why.
It's the second appearance of the Legion of Superheroes.
But why are you so thankful for it?
Because this was my year to rack up Legion stuff, and I did pretty well. Like last year, I was excessively dedicated to Defenders, and it was and Marvel Team Up, and that was a really rough year, And then I was like, and I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, wait a second, who am I trying to impress? My one true original love is Superman and the Superman family and his beloved Legion of Superheroes, and so I chose to. Absolutely not. I chose, pun intended. I chose to put real focus into the Legion this year, and I did. And I scored this well below FMV for a 3.0, and I'm very happy. And not all of us can be lucky enough to have a fan out there to send them a $1,000 book, Matt, and likes comics, comics, and get the first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes just showing up at their doorstep via delivery, Matt likes comics. So I went out there. I went into the eBay jungle and bid hard, and got a score.
All right. So the other one is another Adventure Comics. So let's take a look at that one here. So let me just go into it. And you have.
Oh my God! Why did you not even go in order, man?
the way it came out.
All right, fine.
Let's do
All
both of
right,
them. Okay.
there we go. All right.
You
So
got the three adventure comics. So your first three is adventure comics. So let's go with this one here, which is 282.
282 is the first appearance of Tom Kaylor Starboy, who would eventually become JSA Starman in the Jeff Johns run.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the fifth appearance of the Legion of Superheroes because, of course, he divulges to Superboy how he had traveled to the future and joined the Legion.
And what about the other book?
Now, the other book is 283, literally the next issue after this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is our introduction to the Phantom Zone and General Zod.
Kneel before Zod.
Yes, and I didn't even know what Zod's first appearance looked like until last year. And I said, oh my God, wait, why don't I have this? So all unappreciated keys in my book. The fact that I got 282 and 283 this year, I'm very happy with. I feel like I paid a little bit above fair market value for Starboy, but I don't care. This one I paid under market value, so right on.
And you got a purple label, I see.
I got the purple label, and you know what? I ain't got no shame because this book is from 1961 in a 4.5. I ain't got no shame about that. Ooh, color touch. Oh no! Oh no! Someone went out of their way to try and restore my precious book. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So now let's go to the other two books that you have here, starting with Action Comics 267.
That's right. The third appearance of the Legion of Superheroes, and Supergirl meets the Legion of Superheroes.
And Hercules.
Hercules is there too. And we get the first appearance of Chameleon Boy, Invisible Kid, and Colossal Boy in this.
Interesting.
Now, Hercules and Samson start their BS with Superman in this issue. That is interesting, but I don't care.
That actually is interesting because of All-Star Superman.
No, but I'm just saying. So for those of you who love that All-Star Superman gimmick, this is the beginning of that. And I do kind of care. The Legion's more important to me.
Okay.
And
so L. Ron Hubbard says Secret Wars 8, Transformers #1, ASM 252, Thundercats #1, and Voltron #1. Those are some great picks, man. I see that someone's a very big 80s fan.
That is what I'm saying. Larry is absolutely a child of the 80s, and all of that makes perfect sense, right?
Good.
But when it comes to collecting, I like those things, but I need to be beyond those things. I have seen those things over and over and over and over again, and it just becomes a ride of why don't I see more of the stuff that I love? Which of course brings me to what is
276.
276. It's 267 and 276, and also my Adventure Comics for the Second Legion is 267. They just love throwing the Legion around for 267, 267, 276. But this one is, I think, the sixth appearance of the Legion of Superheroes, and the first appearance of Brainiac 5, Sun Boy, Phantom Girl, Triplicate Girl, Shrinking Violet, and Bouncing Boy. And Supergirl actually gets to join the Legion in this issue, as well as Brainiac 5.
What's the deal with this Superman Emergency Squad?
So they are all Kandorians, and you know the Kandorians are shrunken in a bottle.
Yeah.
Right? So when they need an emergency squad, they let those Kandorians out, and those miniature Supermen, get to work.
You gotta love Silver Age goodness.
Yes. Let me tell you, the emergency squad, though, they do the work. And in All-Star Superman, we don't actually get the emergency squad, but we kind of do. Remember when he goes to those kids who have cancer, and the Kandorians actually fly into the kids and
yeah, I do.
Out. So that's. I don't know why he just didn't use the Superman emergency squad, and he just used a bunch of Kandorians. But yeah,
it could have been something else. It could have been editorial, something like that.
I don't know. No, because he's weird. Now there's also
he's weird.
So Superman's rainbow power. He was exposed to red kryptonite, and he could fire miniature Superman out of his fingertips, who did everything. And that scene in the hospital is an homage to that issue, and he publicly stated this because he loves that story. So I just thought, like, I don't know, he loves all this stuff. I don't know why he didn't just kind of like take the two items and ring them together. But you know, I also like that the Kandorians actually did something selfless, and they're like, all right, Superman wants us to go save some kids, let's do it.
Cool. Awesome.
That is my, so with the exception of the introduction of General Zod, I'm grateful for. So General Zod I'm particularly grateful for because I didn't even know what it looked like until last year. And this one I'm particularly grateful for because I really had to fight to get this, and the fact that this copy came from Hong Kong, which scared the heck out of me, but I got it.
Hong Kong goodness.
Yes.
All right. So it's my turn, right?
Yes, it is, sir.
So let's go ahead and do the books I picked. Now, all these books I pick are sentimental books, so it's not like a value thing or anything like that. It's more like these are books that I'm so grateful for as a collector, as a fan, as a artist, all that stuff. All right. I also have to say what's up to Metal Elf Collectibles. What's going on? All right. So my list is a little different than yours because, like I said, it's the way I did it was I started off with Incredible Hulk 340. Now, this book is currently right now with CGC. It's getting pressed and graded and all that fun stuff. But I had a goal this year. My goal was to get a triple signed book. And I'm thankful that I achieved that goal, Cliff. So,
okay. And this is a triple signed book?
It's a triple signed newsie.
Woo!
So, what's important to me about this book here is the fact that it was gifted to me by my wife. Now let me tell you things that my wife does. So I had this was one of my earlier comic books because I actually got into comics right when this came out. So my original copy of Incredible Hulk 340, I picked it up at the newsstand, in the corner newsstand where I lived, and over at Fordham. So if you want, shout out to Fordham, shout out to the Petco and the Petland that was in the corner.
Petland.
Petland, you remember Petland? So there was a Petland and there was a newsstand, and this newsstand, believe it or not, is still there. But they don't sell newspapers or magazines like they did back then. So I would go there and I saw this book. This is my second comic book that I've ever purchased, with my own personal money from my allowance and things like that. And I picked it up and I thought the artwork was amazing. Obviously the cover is iconic, Tom McFarlane. But what I ended up doing is, so back in the day, I would take my comics to school, and unfortunately they got stolen. So it was stolen. A good set of my comic books, including this one. And back in, I think, 2003, 2004, me and my wife just got married. And I mentioned this comic book to her in just casual conversation. Right? So it was at Christmas that there was a package for me. There was a present from my wife, and when I opened it up, it was this comic book that she purchased. Right? So that's what makes it so sentimental. So
it's super beautiful. Super.
Yeah. So the first signature I picked up, which today would have been the hardest signature to get, is Peter David. So Peter David had a signing in Midtown Comics. He was the first signature I got. And, obviously he passed away recently. This past year he passed away. So that's why I say he would have been the most difficult one. So, but he was the first signature I got with the COA from Midtown. Midtown always gives that little COA paper. So I got that one. The second signature I actually obtained this year as well, which was Bob Wychak. Bob Wychak was the inker of this book. Now, for those of you who don't know, he's currently dealing with health issues, and his vision is impaired. He could hardly see anything. But when it comes to, when he does to conventions, he actually has his son help him sign his book.
Oh.
Yeah, it's his vision has gone that bad, but he's a great person to talk to. So I had multiple conversations with him. He did sign the book, so we got his signature. And then The reason why it's with CGC today is because at New York Comic Con, Todd McFarlane was doing his signatures. He was doing his signing, and I submitted this book to get signed by Todd McFarlane. So now it has the trifecta. It's currently with CGC right now. It's getting pressed by them. It's gonna get then slabbed. I don't expect a super high grade for this book. It'll probably be within the sevens or eight, but that's not the important thing to this book. This is not a book that I'm going to resell anyway. So that's one of the books. The other book is, of course, you guys would know, is X-Men 244. This is the first appearance of Jubilee. Um,
Lee.
as you know, Cliff, I named my first child Jubilation Lee. Her
That's
name is not Jubilee. Her name is Jubilation Lee.
just like Jubilee's real name. I love
Just
it.
like Jubilee's real name. And it was the name I had before me and my wife even started dating. So that was a thing that when I heard about Jubilee's name, and this, you know I'm a churchgoer, and the term jubilation is a very important thing to the Jewish tradition as well, Judeo-Christian tradition. So as a result, I was like, this is so cool because it has so much meaning behind it. It's a sense of freedom. It's taking care of all your debts and wiping them all out. You have a jubilation celebration. So I wanted my first daughter's name to be Jubilee in that way. Well, her name will be Jubilation Lee, but short for Jubilee. And when me and my wife started dating, that was one thing I mentioned to her, and she was like, "Sure." And she was cool with it. She loved the name and she was down with it. So when we had our first child, her name was Jubilation Lee Loriano. So there you have it. Now
Oh,
this is one you haven't seen before. This is a book called Kicked.
oh my.
This is my very first cover.
Oh, your first cover.
I did the artwork.
Nice.
So this was back in 2009. I was part of a collective group that we called ourselves Pronto Comics. We did a book. It's called For Price. I did some interior work in that book. So that was the first book. This was the second book, and I ended up doing the cover, which is a character by the name of Captain Awesome, and he's kind of like he's a Superman character. That's the reason why it looks like a Superman poster. But he's a jerk, and all those other characters were all sidekicks. So it's a collection of short stories. And of course, of all different styles. There's like a vampire character. There's this girl called Golden Girl. There's another one, the mechanic, and all these characters are there. So that was my very first cover. So I still have it. It's stored away. Actually, I do plan on sending it to just put it on a slab just for the hell of it, because I do have multiple copies of it. But that's the first one. Then we go to Marvel Tales 206. This is a reprint of Marvel Team Up. I always forget which number it is. It's a reprint of Marvel Team Up with Spider-Man and Thor when they fight the living Montliv, but also Havoc's in the story. It's all sorts of characters. It is written by Chris Claremont and the art is by John Byrne.
Hell yeah.
This is my very first comic book.
Very first ever to own.
And I have two copies. I have the original comic book still intact.
Marvel Team Up 70.
Yeah, it looks like it is a 0.5. That's how beat up that book is. But I ended up buying the book again, and I got a nice cleaner copy. So that's the one that started it all.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
And finally, of course, it has to be Fantastic Four 67. First appearance of Adam Warlock. He's known as him. I have a signed copy by Stan Lee that I had signed in New York Comic Con. The very first New York Comic Con, he signed it for me, and I immediately got it graded. So those are the books I'm thankful for owning.
Beautiful.
All right.
Very beautiful.
Nerd dad. Hey, what's going on, Phil? How you doing? And I say you add a signed copy of Kid. if you know what, I'll see. Maybe if anybody's interested. I don't know how much people will actually want that, but so it's a pretty good copy. It's not a bad copy. So those are my books. Right. That was
Beautiful.
fun.
That was. I listened. The Fantastic Four for him, and the story with your wife and the Wolverine cover. Bravo.
Yeah.
And of course, and you know what? And love for the Marvel Tales. Love for the Marvel Tales.
It was one of those things. It's just one of those books to me, right? It's like I saw it, I thought it was cool, so I bought it. I paid 75 cents. Remember those days?
I do. I do.
Comics. 75 cents was an awesome price. All right, guys. I want it. I'm literally looking. Yeah, you're not going to find it on eBay. I doubt that. Probably buy it for like.
Which one are they trying to find on eBay?
I don't know. I think DVH is trying to find Kicked.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt if you find that. Really, really doubt that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more comic content. Check out these other videos for even more insight. And I'll see you at the next one. Excelsior.